Alright, I just made a video about civil asset forfeiture, and I didn't quite get to everything I wanted to say, so I figured I'd make this video as well. At the end, I talked about the fact that civil asset forfeiture ended up killing a man, and it's killed more than one, but that's tyranny as blatant as it gets, that the government can just kill a man at any time that they want to, and it's legal and fair for them to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go watch that video. But here's where I left off. I wanted to say, let us not forget that our government has been doing horrible things for a great number of years, and we have all just accepted it as normal. We've come to terms with, that's the way it is. What are you gonna do? No, it isn't. That isn't the way it is. You wanna know the way it is? It's like this. You own your life. You can do whatever you want to do. Nothing stops you. There's no magical force that stops you from doing anything that you want to do. I mean, you have the power to go to your neighbor's house and beat the living shit out of them. But guess what? Chances are you don't have a desire to go to your neighbor's house and beat the living shit out of them. But you could do it if you want to. Government can't stop you. How are they going to stop you? They're going to know that you did it, or that you are going to do it before you did it? No, they can't know that. No one can know that. Therefore, there's no magical force that stops anyone from doing anything. You don't do it because you don't desire to hurt them. People are not inherently evil. However, why do you choose to do nothing to those who are causing all of us harm all of the time? I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of it. We've got kids. There's a future to mankind. We all should care about that. Even if you don't have kids, it could still make your life better before you die. This past Independence Day, I partook in the nationwide protest in my area. Do you know how many people joined me? Take a guess. First off, let me say it was in Marietta, Ohio. Now, you can pause the video now and go look as to how many people live in Marietta, Ohio, and then guess. Maybe you could make a better guess based on that. I don't know. I will say this though, before you go do that, or before you make an estimate, if you type in Marietta, Ohio protest on YouTube, you will find a video of someone in Anonymous that set up a protest in Marietta, Ohio for July 4th, on that date, the same year, back in like January. So now that you know that, make another guess. Make a guess. How many people joined me? I'll tell you. Nobody. Not a soul. I was the only one. There's nobody there. Just me. I mean, it's not going to get better by hoping. We can maybe get honest people into office through voting. If you don't believe that voting doesn't work, type this into YouTube. Diebold, D-I-E-B-O-L-D, voting rigged. Should be, I think, the top video. Watch it. Our elections are rigged. They're garbage. Maybe not all of them. Some of them are still paper. But any of them that aren't paper, which is far past the majority, I mean, we're talking probably 90% are electronic in some way. Even if you fill it out on paper, you feed the paper into a machine, and the machine counts it, not a person. That's still electronic. Anyways, so sitting around hoping that we could change it by getting the right people in office. I mean, even if we could, they're outnumbered by the snakes. They're outnumbered by the liars. The people with their own interests, not the people's interests. They don't care about the people. Why would they care about the people? I mean, if you're going to have positions of power, guess who's going to aspire to those positions? First off, the average human being is not immoral, and they do not want power over other human beings because they view it as immoral. It's like slavery. To have power over other people feels like you're a slave owner. So the majority of people don't want to be a politician. Now, you may have your reason or whatever, but I think it's inherent that people don't want to do that. So who becomes politicians? Who aspires to be politicians? Sociopaths, murderers, and thieves. Because where else are they going to get away with what they want to get away with but in politics? Now, having said all this, we need to take power in our own hands. I shouldn't say it that way. It's not power in our own hands. It's take power away from those who believe they have power over us. Sounds like power in our own hands, but we're not putting power in anyone's hands that doesn't already have power. You already have power over your own life. They don't have power over your life. They can legislate all they want. Doesn't make a lick of difference. I'm not saying that we should violently protest. I'm not saying that. Because we haven't exhausted all forms of non-violent protest. We haven't done that. There's all kinds of things that we can come up with that are non-violent, that do not harm a living soul on the planet. Namely an idea that I've mentioned before, not on video, but in other places. Anyone that's followed me on Twitter or whatever, or read my articles, they've seen it. And that would be filing tax exempt. Anyone can do this. You can go into work tomorrow, ask for a form, say I need to change my tax status, and you can file exempt. And that means that the employer takes nothing and sends it to the government. They don't do that. You filed exempt. They don't have the burden of proof that you're exempt from taxation. You do, but the only way that that would happen is if the government would come up and say, you know, we don't believe you, you have to prove it. Hold that thought. I know where you're going with that thought. What did the American colonists do when taxes were raised beyond their power to stop it? Well, they dumped tea into the harbor. That didn't harm anybody. It was nonviolent protest. Sure, they grabbed some stuff and dumped it into the water, but didn't harm a human being. It's nonviolent. I mean, it could be viewed as theft, but taxes are theft. So it's not the initiation of force. It's the retaliation to force. We still have our options that don't harm a living person. We have yet to have even tried to take that route, mainly because of fear. People think, oh, but you could be arrested. Well, if you go watch that other video I made about civil asset forfeiture, you could be killed at any time, and they have a justifiable reason to do it. Well, I shouldn't say justifiable. It's not really justifiable. It's legal pertaining to them. Oh, so you're afraid of being arrested. Okay, well, did you know they can take your stuff at any time that they want and kill you at the same time? And there's nothing you can do about it. So you're afraid of being arrested for protesting when you could have all of your stuff and your life taken from you. legally. And there's nothing your family can do about it. No one can fight it or demand retribution. The amount of cases that have won against it are basically non-existent. Yes, there have been some wins. Compared to the amount of losses, it's not even fathomable. It's ignorable. So what? You could have your stuff taken from you, all that stuff. And you might think, well, taxes, if I file taxes, they might come for me and arrest me. Really? That's what you think, huh? What if I told you 65 million Americans that should be paying their income taxes don't? 65 million Americans out of 304 million Americans. What is that, a fifth? Really? So they're going to come and get you for not doing it, even though there's a large number of people not doing it. I wonder why they don't go arrest them. Did you know there's been a contest to find the law that says you have to pay income taxes, you're obligated to. And no one's ever won the prize money, which is $50,000. If you could find the law that proves you're obligated to pay income taxes. No one's ever found it. This has been since the 90s. There's IRS workers that quit and stopped paying income taxes based on the contest. Because they thought, oh, I work here, I'll put it to bed. And they failed. So, I say let's join them. Please contact me if you care. If you care to do something, because I'm tired of this. I want to do something about it. And I don't want to sit on my ass anymore. I want to do some kind of actual protest that's not holding a sign, that actually affects them, that hits them where it hurts, in the money. And until we do something that affects them on a grand scale, if there's already 65 million people that file tax exempt, what's another million? Ooh, another million. My point is, maybe we don't make it public. I don't know. Why make it public? Why not just have 1 million people agree, like, all right, this year we're all filing exempt. Let's see what happens. If nothing happens, let's do it again the next year. Get another 1 million more people and keep doing it. Or bigger, something. We need to do something. I'm tired of doing nothing. And you should be sick and tired of it too. You have no excuse. None. Now, you can contact me on Twitter at BlueVino. Blue like the color, vino like Italian for wine, no spaces. Zerker, if you use Zerker, at www.zerker.com/bluevino. On Reverb Nation at www.reverbnation.com/bluevino. On MySpace, if you still use MySpace, myspace.com/bluevinoband. On YouTube, on my YouTube channel here, youtube.com/Hotchkiss Records. That's HOTCHKISS Records. Because it's time we do something. I'm going to read a quote here from Captain America. Doesn't matter what the press says, doesn't matter what the politicians or the mob says, doesn't matter if the whole country decides that something wrong is something right. This nation was founded upon one principle above all else, the requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. No matter when the mob says, and the press says, and the whole world tells you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move.